So hello friends, in this video I am going to show you the great game of Mikhail Tal. People call him magician because he gave so many types of sacrifices. So let's begin. White plays e4, then comes c5, Sicilian defense, and Mikhail Tal is playing by white pieces. Then knight to f3, knight to c6, then d4, pawn captures pawn, then knight captures pawn, and then knight to f6. There is a attack on pawn, so knight to c3, defending the pawn, and then d6. This is a classical variation of Sicilian defense. Then Mikhail Tal played bishop to g5, which we tell this is a Richard Soldier variation. And in this position, black played bishop to d7. Of course, this is a logical move. And in Sicilian defense, black wants this c file to be controlled by his rook, because there is only the attack by the black. But bishop d7 means you are taking out your queen side pieces. Then you are taking your rook to c5. But this is so early because you are not focusing on your king side pieces. Because of this, bishop to d7 is not so good move. Then comes queen to d2, knight captures knight, and then queen captures knight. And then queen to a5. Attack on the bishop. So white plays knight, bishop captures knight, and then black plays pawn captures bishop. But he captures with his g5 pawn. But what in case he captures with this pawn? But then if you capture with this pawn, this square of weakness will so much irritate black. Then white will go for long castle, then put this knight on this square, and anytime this bishop can go to c4. So bishop captures d6, and then white captures with his g pawn. What is plan of black here? Black wants his e5 pawn to be alive, because in right movement he can play pawn to e6. Then it will become a strong pawn mass when this e5 pawn will come to e6. And because of this strong pawn mask, the king will be safe in the center. And the plan of black is completely clear, that he is going to keep his king in the center. So Mikhail Tal plays long castle, and then rook to c8, f4, then rook to g8, and then g3 move. So in case if I want to move my bishop, then I can play it to bishop to g2 and develop my bishop. And then e6, sacrificing his f6 pawn. You cannot touch this f6 pawn, because see, for example, if you capture this pawn, then bishop to g7, and then if you play queen to g5 either and 2, then queen to b4, and then you can capture this knight with your this rook, and then even you can capture this pawn. When this pawn will move here, then you can even capture this pawn with our queen or bishop, and then queen to b2 check. Then the king needs to go to d2, and then bishop will simply go and capture and simply come here and give check, and in this cover your queen will be gone. So physically you can't kill this pawn on f6, and then because of this reason white ignored this pawn on f6 and played. So then white played bishop to h3 and then queen to c5, offering queen exchanges. Of course, when you play with Mikhail Tal, all other players are very afraid and offer queen exchanges. Then white played queen to d2, queen exchanges declined. Then black thinks that he can take an aggressive action. So white played pawn to b5. But then rook goes to e1 and then b4, attacking on knight. But then Mikhail Tal played knight to e2. Then came queen to c4, queen to king to b1, supporting this pawn with our king. And his queen was also attacking this e4 pawn. And Mikhail Tal saves his a2 pawn. And now you take and black captures his queen. Black captures his pawn. And in the game, black captures this e4 pawn. But now the problem is that you have given an open file to Mikhail Tal to attack, and that file is e file. Now because his own piece is not in the way, means he can anytime attack the black king. So then knight to d4, attacking on the queen. So queen to b7, and now queen to d3. So practically we have attacked this h7. So we have attacked on this a7 pawn. So a7 pawn is not so important than that h7 square is. Then black plays bishop to e7. So then white plays queen captures on h7, then rook to f8, and then bishop to h4 is very strong. And if you try to escape from queen side, then bishop to and then bishop to h5, and then bishop to e8, saving the pawn. But here the game will soon be gone. But then rook captures pawn, and when this pawn captures rook, then we'll capture this pawn with our knight. It's a check and a fork. Then king to d7 force, knight captures rook, check. And here you can't play bishop captures knight because it is pin. So there are so many options. You will see them turn by turn. Then if you take your king to d8, then knight will go here. It's again a check. Then d7 again, and then you will simply move your bishop to g4. There is a threat. Black to move. This discard check is so strong, and this black knight can go on c5 it will but discover check, and when then black king will move, then we can easily capture his queen by our knight. So you can't move your king to d8. So say you play king to c7, but then queen can easily capture this bishop, and it's again a check, and then of course this is a winning position for white because we have won one piece for free. And in case if you go king to c6, point is that the queen is protecting this bishop, but then bishop to f3 check, and when this king will move anywhere, his queen is gone. So in all variations, and so if you play bishop to, and so h5 and then bishop to e8, white is completely winning. So because of this, black did not play king to d8, and then black went for king to c7. There is an attack on this pawn. So Mikhail Tal simply went for king to a1, so that at least they don't get checked, and then pawn to f5. And this challenges the white that now what he will play now. But then, what a sacrifice! Mikhail Tal went for bishop captures pawn, and when pawn captures bishop, then and the next move is so shocking. That white went for rook to e7. It's a check to black, and then when this king captures this rook, then rook to e1, again a check, and then king to d8 force, then queen to f4 check, then black plays f6, and you only think that what would white play here. Then white plays queen to h6, attacking the rook, and you cannot save rook at all. But then, say if you save this rook on f7, then queen to h8 is just winning. It's check. Now you have to only take this rook in between, and then this queen will capture this rook, and it will be a soon mate. So here black will play this, and then this is also a mate. Means you can't play rook to f7. See, if he plays his rook to e8 or g8, no matter where he plays, in any matter, and then we will simply take this pawn, and game will be soon a mate, and soon will be mate. So physically, in this position, white is winning, and then the rook is gone. Why did black invited white to give bishop sacrifices? Then black also went for a beautiful move, queen to a5. This is a very strong move. Say you play queen captures a8, it's a check. But then when he plays king to d7, there is no good check here, and the queen is hanging. Say king captures on, queen captures on f6, but then we'll simply play pawn to b3. This pawn can't kill because it's pin, and now your rook is also hanging. So here white will be gone. So say in this position you are thinking that why we have to capture this pawn. We can simply play queen to e7. No. Now say this rook is protected. So if black plays queen to pawn to b3, then you can simply capture this pawn by your c pawn. But here will come rook to rook to e8. Then the queen will be the game will be lost here for white, because if you take your queen anywhere in safe place, then your rook is gone behind the queen. So now knight to e6 check is force. Of course bishop can't capture this because it's pin. Then black can still play king to c8. Then queen captures on d6. Then it will play b3, and the game is lost, because you can't even go to queen exchanges. And then when this black queen will capture this queen, then when knight captures queen, then this rook is totally gone by this rook, and it's a mate. So in this position, white meets Mikhail Tal has seen that b3 is coming, and then one move came from Mikhail Tal, knight to b3, and all hopes were fired from black. And now there is attack on queen, and also block this pawn from moving forward, and then this queen will be moved. Then you can simply capture this rook, and then f6 pawn will be also be gone. So, and then came queen to d5. You can't save queen and rook at a time. So then queen capture rook check. When king to c7, now queen captures f6, and like this way Mikhail Tal has won 2 pawns extra, and the position is winning for Mikhail Tal. So black played rook to e8, and then rook to c1, and after bishop to a4, and then Mikhail Tal played queen to e4, offering queen exchanges. And now Mikhail Tal wants the queen exchanges, because now Mikhail Tal has 2 pawns extra, and plus they both are pass pawn. Then came queen to b7, and then rook to d1. So there is attack on d6 pawn. So rook to e6, saving the pawn. And in this position, which move was played by Mikhail Tal, forced to resign. And that move was queen to c4, check and fork. And saving the check, and rook has only the option king to d7. And then knight to c5 check. Of course, pawn cannot take because it's pin. And when this king will move anywhere, his queen is gone. And this position is of course winning for white. And then finally black resigned. So please like, subscribe, share. and to see my other videos, please click that I button. Bye.